Now, it's time for Rob to get this crowd up to a fever pitch. Rob, not a damn thing happens until this crowd is going.
You got
Get them going, Mama!
All right, are you ready, New Jersey? You dreamt it, now it's true. Dean and his father are coming out on stage, but not till you show us all the love you didn't show all weekend long. Are you ready to sing with me?
Yeah. And he didn't spill a drop.
I'm all fucked up.
Well, this is a special treat, a rare occasion. So let's not waste any time. Let's make it official. Good people of East Brunswick, New Jersey, and the surrounding counties and towns, please, a big East Coast welcome to Mr. Jensen, Ackles, and Jefferson Morgan.
That is good to see you guys.
Thank you, fellas.
Right.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, guys. Bye, Rich.
Bye.
All right. Yeah, he never sticks around anymore. I thought for sure bringing Jeff out might have. No.
I haven't seen these guys in a long time.
Let's go, brother.
Hey.
Let's go, Dad.
Well, son. All right.
Good to have you here, man.
It's good to be here.
Did you bust a knee on that one?
I might have pulled
Do you have any orthopedic surgeons in the house?
Yeah.
Some bone doctors? What's that?
Personal injury
A
lawyer.
personal injury lawyer.
Even better.
That might get us into some trouble. How are you, pal?
Well, I'm really good.
You look good, man.
Yeah, you look good.
The time's been good to
You're
you.
off the old fucking block.
This guy,
Time has
I
been.
feel like you looked like this 10 years ago.
Okay.
That's what's good then.
It's funny because
Right? It's obnoxious.
he knows because I was just talking to him last night about this very thing. All of a sudden, the last 3 years, I look in the mirror and I'm like, I don't recognize me anymore. I'm like, I'm getting fucking old. Oh no, it's cool. I'm good with it. I'm gonna start. Next time you see me, though, if I have a black beard, sorry.
just for men.
Well, I want to get old like that. That's.
What, 17 years? Is that what it's been?
I got to do the math, but yeah,
It's
I
a
think
lot.
that's 18 years.
18 years.
Yeah,
Wow.
I think it was. Yeah,
We didn't have kids. There was a time we didn't have kids.
there was.
Lives.
I don't remember that.
Yeah. Neither do I.
There's a comedian who does a whole bit about people that have kids and people that don't, and like the people that don't have kids that drive by a restaurant, they're like, oh, that looks like a lovely restaurant. We should go there sometime. People that do have kids are like, oh, that looks like a lovely restaurant. We will never go there.
Yeah, my wife and I constantly are like, someday. That's our new day. It's not our new thing. Someday.
Yeah.
Don't know when, but someday.
I wrote to Neil a note.
That was sweet.
When we first, well, it was the last one I ever wrote. When we first started crushing on each other, and we were both previously, tied up with other people. And so I just wrote her a note and said, I was dating somebody, she was dating somebody. And shady, yeah. Look, man, we were young, you know? But I wrote her a note. I said, not now, but someday. I did. I wrote, not now, but someday. And she still hasn't.
Okay, I wasn't dating anybody, well, Hillary was. See? Yeah. Shady. And Jensen introduced me to her.
Yeah, and it was like the 4th of July. Like, I think I've told this story, but he calls me up and he's like, hey man, what are you doing? I just got back into town. I'm like, oh, I'm actually right down the street from your new house that you just got, with Daniil and a friend of ours. And he's like, oh, well, mind if I join you? I was like, please, get your ass over here, have a beer with us.
Yeah.
And so we're sitting there like right by the front window. It's this Irish pub in LA, and we're sitting right by the front window, and up drives this motorcycle. It was your Harley.
Yeah.
You just got it.
The night
Blacked out. The night ride.
Blacked out night ride, yeah.
And he pulls up, not knowing that we're sitting right below him, pulls up right in front of the place and parks it. And I feel like everything went in slow motion. He like got off his bike, helmet came on, and he was like, and I go, oh, there he is. And I look over at Hillary and just like jaw on the table, just like, and she didn't know who he was. She just saw what she saw, and that was it, man. It was, you walked in, did the same thing.
Yeah.
I was like, get hold of yourself, Hillary, come on. I introduced you to a friend of mine, and I'm like, Hillary, this is oh no. I'm gonna get out of the way.
And then we drank a little bit, and then we went back to my house, and I just remember Jensen in my pool, which was like 40 degrees. It was cold as hell, and he's like, you drunk?
I was the original ice bath guy.
And he sat in that thing for like 3 hours while Hillary and I flirted. I don't know what Daniil was. Daniil was just like, what am I doing here? The whole time. But also, I was like on your first date with Daniil. I was in Vancouver. She came up to visit you to go on an official date, because I think you were finally single.
Yeah, right?
And you invited me! And I had no idea. It was the first date. About halfway through, I'm starting to get what am I doing here? This is awkward, I'm saying.
I was like, listen, if I give you one of these, we gotta go. That's, if I give you one of these, you gotta go. So
Wingman.
oh, man.
No history here.
None whatsoever.
Right.
Well, we could chat all day about that stuff, but you guys probably have some questions, so let's do that. Or you're like, yeah, no, you guys just you chat it up. Now we'll start over here. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Great.
My name's Tia. I'm from the Outer Banks, North Carolina. And
Yeah, all right.
yeah, come visit.
Well, I have a house then. I do. I'll be there also. Just come say hi.
how I'm going, that's for sure.
Me too, to be hanging out.
Absolutely. My question is, what is your favorite memory of a backstage moment from one of the conventions?
A backstage moment?
Well, backstage, on stage, with a fan, like anything.
For me, it's when I told everybody that I was having a daughter.
I remember that.
Yeah, because I wasn't supposed to.
New
In New
Jersey.
Jersey?
Yeah.
It was this stage.
No, it was
I'm probably
Secaucus.
gonna say something real stupid tonight. Something about Jersey. Jersey brings out the best.
There's a lot to choose from. I will say I will never forget the moment that this was at Comic-Con in San Diego when we had announced the show was coming to an end, and Jared and I walked out to a crowd of 7,000 people, and I turned to him just before we walked out, and I was like, "Take this in, because this is it." And we went out there and we just like put our arms around each other, and I think we both got a little emotional and had to pull the britches up and get a tough guy real quick, because we were about to do an entire panel for an hour.
I remember I was there. I was with the other show.
Yeah.
But I remember your panel. I remember watching it, like somehow live.
There was a live feed back in the green room, yeah.
Yeah, it's cool.
That's a moment I'll never forget, and I'm glad that we took that moment, because usually you just walk out and do this, you sit down, and then they introduce the rest of the panel, but I think I walked out first, and I stood there, and I waited for him to come and join me, and then we stood there together, and just, it was pretty memorable. Yeah. Thank you.
See you in the other way. See you on the beach.
Hi.
Hi guys, my name is Pepper. Jeffrey, I want to start by saying I know a lot of people give John a hard time about being a dad the way he was.
Whatever.
Thank you.
Way to bring that up.
Yeah. You know what? Bring it up. We got two people here. We'll fight you tooth and nail.
I'm on your side.
Okay, good.
I think John did the best he could with the situation during that time.
You thought John did the best he could, given the situation during that time.
I thought so too.
And the tools that he had to be a dad, which wasn't the normal tools a father would normally have.
And you have to remember it was the 70s.
It was the 70s. And for those of you who
Well, it wasn't the 70s.
The 80s. Yeah.
It would have been like the 90s.
whatever,
Right?
was it the 70s? Listen to all y'all. Everyone has a different answer,
Would have been the same age.
and you're all right.
It would have, yeah, I guess it would have been 80s.
79. He was born 79, and Sam was 83.
I'm glad we figured that out, guys. We did that together. I feel good.
I still don't know.
Way to go,
So my
Dad.
question,
Yes, sorry, what's your question?
so you kind of said that there was going to be an announcement when you were in Italy, but
Smooth.
Wait, what?
I'm still
Way to go.
waiting. I'm still waiting to hear what that announcement.
Yeah, I'm still waiting to be able to say anything, but, and I got in trouble, last convention for saying even a little bit of stuff, so I'm gonna keep my mouth shut until
Take a guess.
listen,
Jesus.
it's not hard to figure out, but, as soon as I am allowed to talk about it, I will definitely, I can't wait to share. But
You're all
it's,
smooth, you know.
what's that? No comment. Yeah, listen, it's all good things, and when I can, there's supposed to be an official, like, press release thing about it at some point, but I will control that.
Tell Jeff and let him tell us.
That's above my pay grade.
Yeah, I'll sell it.
Don't you see it? I kind of work on it. We don't want to mess about something today, but no go.
You're dragging this out way too long.
I know.
It's just like stammering.
Trust me, it's not easy. It's not usually like, so.
He's having a girl.
What? I'll let you know when I can. Thank you.
About the girl?
I already got 2 girls, man. I don't.
Girls are rough.
Girls, man. But they, oh, you know,
Mine's gonna be the death of me.
yeah. Well, that's right. 'Cause I got one that's gonna be the death of me, but I got one that's gonna take care of me while I'm on my deathbed. Yeah.
Mine's gonna be twerking over my grave.
You like me now, Daddy?
You've killed Mike.
Well, there's an image.
Dead.
Please change the subject for us.
My name is Daria, and I'm from right outside of Philly. And my question is...
Did you say you're right
Right outside
outside this
the building.
building? How nice for you. You're on one phone.
My question is, are there any important milestones or successes in your career, or even life, that you felt really helped push you forward or put you on the right track, and what they are? It's a loaded question, but I couldn't come up with anything else.
Solid question.
I'll let you, I'll tell you one and give you time to think.
It's a girl.
It's got legs. It's got legs.
It will do.
Yeah. Look, I think he, you know, much like all of us, there's been a series of forks in the road and we have either chosen which way to go or the path has been chosen for us. And, I was talking about this at dinner last night. When I was in high school, I was like eat, drink, sleep, baseball for like 3 years. And finally, my senior year, the theater department teacher comes, and I've been doing drama as an elective during school, but then all the extracurricular stuff was sports. And so the theater teacher comes to my baseball coach and says, hey, I know it's in season right now, and you guys playoffs are coming up, but I really want one of your players to try out for, or to be in the spring musical. And coach is like, who? So it was me, and I only knew about that conversation because I got called into the coach's office, and he said, hey, listen, I had this guy come and talk to me, and said that she really wants you to do this spring musical, spring play. And I was like, well, yeah, coach, we got playoffs coming up. He's like, I know. He said, you've given me about 3 solid years of good baseball. He's like, there's and he said this not so bluntly, but in an actually nice way. But he's like, you're not good enough. You're not getting scouted by any. You're not going to get a ride to college. And you're definitely not going pro. He's like, but you're a good ball player. He's like, that said,
You're really good looking.
He said, you're only in high school once. He said, you should try to get as much out of it as you possibly can. Maybe go give this a shot. I promise we'll be sitting front row. And for a Texas coach back in the 90s, like that was not heard of, And so I went and I did the play, and there happened to be a talent scout that came and watched the play. And came up to me afterwards and said, we think you got it, kid. Think you should move to LA. And I was like, yeah, take a hike. Then he went and talked to my dad and my mom and told them, and they said, well, you want to give it a shot? You should give it a shot. And so I thought about it for a few months, and instead of going to college, I went to LA. I never turned back. So that was certainly something that, a moment in my life that really kind of changed its direction.
What was the part?
Tony in West Side Story.
Oh,
Maria. That was it. And I'd never sang in my life in front of anybody. I was terrified. And they put me, the girl that played Maria, her name was Kendra Ware. Kendra, if you're out there somewhere, I hope you're well. And she was like a all-state soloist choir person, like could sing, you know, like Adele. And here I have never sang in my life, but she hadn't done theater. So she was nervous about the acting parts, and I was nervous about the singing parts, so we helped each other out. Yeah. But first solo I come out, it's that song that, who knows, could be this or the new anything, I don't know. Soon as it shows. And there's this proscenium in the front of the stage, and I come and said, yeah, man, you playing all that down from the sky, gleaming, and I was just in the front 2 rows, my whole baseball team go like this. I was like, well, there's no turning back now. You're gonna get beat up after this? But they all came up and very awkwardly said, that was good. And that was that.
It's a good story.
Yeah.
I like that story. I don't have anything that compares to that. No baseball team or nice people. No coach told me you can't do this anymore. You know what, for me, in all honesty, it was that year that I was doing Supernatural and Grey's Anatomy. It just changed. And I've told the story a million fucking times. But that's the truth, and that's when it all kind of happened. I've been kicking around for 20 years, doing pilots that didn't get picked up.
Sliders.
Guest sliders. Guest star spot sliders. Anything to keep a roof over my head, just trying to keep a foot in the door, but it really wasn't until, you know, Grey's Anatomy and Supernatural same time, and then, you know, thankfully I haven't stopped. It's been going since then. That's 17 years ago.
It's been a good ride.
Yeah, it's been a decent ride.
Yeah.
No huge complaints.
Yeah, there's a lot of folks, and he knows a lot, and I know a lot that were grinding it out back in the day, in the early 2000s, just trying to get a foot in that door, and trying to
People that are
greatly talented people,
hugely talented,
and just couldn't never crack the code, or just never was at the right place at the right time. And I think it's largely that too. The success in this industry is really largely being at the right place at the right time. And it's been really good to us, man.
Yeah, I know people that are my age that still haven't got that break, that are still out there pounding the pavement and hoping and praying, and man, it's rough. It's hard.
It's harder now, I think,
way harder now.
than to get in than it was when we were because now, especially with COVID, everything's gone remote. So you don't have to live in Hollywood anymore to get into the industry. How about to get an agent or anything these days? I don't even know how that. I wouldn't know how to
work.
get it.
No, it used to.
Don't ask us for advice.
Yeah. How did you get into that? It's so different now that I wouldn't know what to say.
But like we get Supernatural, we get a guest star come in and be like, you local or you come up from LA? Or like, no, I live in Cleveland. Like,
Nobody lives in
yeah, send in a tape.
Wow.
Got a call back when they send me.
Wow.
So especially now, like it's all Zooms, it's all
Yes.
It's not, you're never going into a room and reading for people face to face, which is what he and I did. Which, man, auditioning was the worst.
I was a horrible.
It's the worst.
It's a rough way to go.
Yeah.
So you're just spin yarns. I would just lie and tell stories in the room, trying to get people to like me, because I do the audition. Everybody does the same fucking audition.
Yeah, try to charm the pants off them, the first few seconds before they, want you to read, and that usually will get you, if not that role, another role as a project. Yeah.
And then some people are really good at auditioning, and then you put them on a set, and they can't act their way up a paper bag. Some of them are still working today. I'm not going to name any names.
Come on.
And we've worked with a few of them.
We won't tell anybody. Come on, Misha's still here.
Yeah, is Misha still here?
I think he's still on his job.
Thank you. Yeah. Hi.
I'm Victoria from Mount Pocono, PA, and this is my very first convention.
Welcome.
Thank you. And I have gummy bears for you, Jensen.
Thank you. Can I get those later?
Yeah.
I'll need them.
My question is, what was your favorite thing about Soldier Boy?
My favorite thing?
The cod piece. I thought you were asking me.
So not a word of a lie. I had to fly out to LA 6 different times for them to build that costume for me, right? And you just stand there like a mannequin. You just they're like placing things and different parts because the whole thing is a custom made suit. These things are like a couple $100,000, and they're works of art. LJ, who is the super suit designer, she's just incredible. Her and her team are just incredible. But I remember we were texting. You texted me something randomly, and I happened to be at one of my fittings in LA, and I was like, hey man, can't talk right now. I'm actually at a Soldier Boy fitting, and he was like, I need a picture of the codpiece immediately. And I was like, well, buddy, I'm glad you asked that because they're actually asking me to pick it out right now. I have like 5 of them lined up. And then I sent you a picture, and I was like, which one, bro? And I was like, oh, the biggest one right there. So I did, and I come out, and then I was like, and then LJ was like, no. No, we don't. She's like, we already have one of those. That's Ant, the Homelander.
He does thrust that side,
He's
right?
got, yeah, that's quite a piece. I won't say the cod piece, although that is a funny fun fact for you. But my favorite part about the suit, I have so many parts that I didn't like. Probably more than I did like. I would say my favorite part was, and this isn't really a suit, but it's just part of the whole package. The boots that I wore were the same boots that Dean Winchester wore for 15 years.
Nice Easter egg.
She asked me, she's like, we're going one more like a military, because it's a Soldier Boy, we're doing a military style boot. And she sent to my house in Austin a few options, and I was like, these are very similar to the ones that Dean wore. And so I just messaged her, and I was like, these could work. One of these could work. However, I do know that there is a company that makes a boot that I've never gotten sick of in 15 years, and I can stay on my feet for 14 hours a day, and my feet don't hurt at the end of it. And she was like, well, what are they? They're called Carolinas. And so she's like, well, then that's what we're gonna get. So she got the same.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So I love that because of the connection there.
Could you go to the bathroom in that suit?
Yes.
Oh, good.
And that was actually a conversation that we had, and she said, yeah, I think Chase hates me, and I think Jesse hates me because there were some suits on the boys that she did not make access panels, but luckily I had a little, they just went together like pants.
Oh, good.
But what happened was the top was zipped to the bottoms. So I had the bottoms and then the top, and then the whole thing was zipped together, and then they put the big utility belt on. So they're
And a big copies.
there's like a whole team of people that it takes to get out of that thing.
Yeah.
Like the chest piece doesn't move. It's like a solid, like
They're rough.
ballistic chest piece that I couldn't move. So if I was like doing fight scenes, I felt like an idiot. But it looked cool. It looked cool.
It looked really cool.
Yeah. What was your favorite part about the suit?
That was a door open for you? Should have walked right
That was it. Just laid it out for you. Slow hanging fruit.
Gross. Fucking gross.
It's a daughter. Thank you. Wait, what?
I'm Mandy from upstate New York.
What's happening?
He told us to run
I saw a TikTok where it was like this old interview you did or panel where you were making a story about Kirby from South Carolina and she like fell down in front of you.
Yeah.
So all weekend I've been like, oh, I'm Kirby from South
Bad
Carolina.
part about being old, man. It's real.
It's funnier when you have to explain the jokes.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Who told that story? Jensen? Oh, okay, so it wasn't me.
This Jensen?
What? Herbie from South Carolina?
Of course, yeah.
There were paramedics.
There were paramedics.
It was that
Oh
family.
my God, you people.
No, that's coming back to me now.
Everybody talks at once.
You guessed her name and she fell backwards and
Yeah.
legs akimbo.
She was super drunk.
I may have embellished it.
You might have made it up.
Her name might have been Kim. I'm kidding, I'm lying.
So the radio company out.
Your joke was awesome. I just wanted
It's so much better when you have.
Yeah, sorry, you had to explain
I'm a
it.
very funny guy. So, the radio company album just came out, and I was wondering if you had to do a collaboration for some booze and cheap tattoos, what would you pick for a drink and a cheap tattoo to represent this album?
Well, luckily I've got both those answers sitting right next to me here. I would pick this young man's smoky rye whiskey. Motherfucking libation! And a couple of thumb tattoos that we got very quickly, very cheaply.
After drinking some smoky rye.
Do we pay for these? We didn't pay for these, did we?
Pay for them, no.
Because we walked in and the guy, I don't know if you've
No,
heard
we
the
didn't
story.
walk in. We scooted.
We scootered in. Literally just cruising the streets of Tulsa, Oklahoma. And I love this story. We rolled into one shop and Jeff's like, listen, they gotta recognize us or we're bailing. I'm like, oh, for sure. So I feel like he kicked the door in. And there was
Off our scooters.
yeah, there was one guy getting something done, and then there was another guy behind the desk, and we walk up, and he looks at us, he's like, can I help you? And Jeff's like, yeah, we're just looking to get a couple small tattoos real quick, and he's like, well, I can probably fit you in about an hour. And Jeff's like, cool, we'll be back. Just take the place. So we go down the street, pull into another one, and we walk in the door, and there's a guy who happened to be the owner of the shop doing this big leg piece on another guy, and he looks up and goes, holy shit, get out of my chair! And Jeff looks at me and goes, this is the place.
That is a true story. And we had no idea what we were going to get. Of course, then I was like, well, I'll get like 70 on each finger. And then Jensen gets up, and Jensen was like so ready to go. And then you were like, oh, maybe just a thing on my thumb.
Just one.
You changed your thumb like, or you changed your mind.
Just get one. And then the guy was like, I can't believe I'm tattooing Negan and Soldier Boy. It wasn't even supernatural. And then we finished up in like, it was like 10 minutes. It took no time at all. Well, he took a little more time because he was like, you were looking at me, you're like, I'm running out of ideas, Jensen. I need some more ideas here. I'm like, you're running out of knuckles, pal.
Okay, put a smiley face on my middle one.
That was my favorite one. Yeah, there's some booze and cheap tattoos along the way.
That was a good day.
That was a good day.
I don't know if you're up there in Tulsa, Oklahoma, but that was, we were living on the edge.
Yeah, it's a good time.
Hi, I'm Jess from Westford, Massachusetts.
Hello.
And so I have a statement and a question. The statement is, please let Kripke know we want him at a con. We all have
Solid choice.
He would be either really good or be really boring because he's so careful with the information that leaks out of his mouth that he might just be like, no comment on everything. Or if he was able to, he could give you like the dissected version of every question and answer. That would be awesome. I would like to be in that audience when he finally decides to actually...
I'd like to ask a question.
I know, man. I've got questions.
I got stuff.
I hope he does, and I know it's been on his radar. In fact, he's actually mentioned it to me that he would be interested in it, but the man works like just a monster, and I think things will have to slow down a little bit in the world for that to happen, and I hope it does. I mean, for his sake, like he's so.
Well, one more year at the boys, right?
I mean, there's a lot of rumors. There's nothing official. I mean, look, he said there was only going to be 5 seasons of Supernatural. There were 15 previous seasons. I don't think the boys is going to go 15 seasons. However, what they say right now is, that, you know, there's no telling. There's no telling. However, I do wish that he does get a break sometime soon because he works his ass off, and hopefully in that break he can come and talk to us about some stuff.
Awesome, thank you.
Thank
And
you.
actually, sorry.
Yeah, no, what's up?
So that was my statement. My question
Oh,
actually was, Nashville was incredible, and I don't know how you do that after a full con weekend and have that kind of energy. That show was amazing, and all of us want to know if there's hope for touring in the future.
Well, thank you. It took a lot of drugs.
He's not lying.
No, obviously we were very thrilled with the success of that show. It was incredibly nerve-wracking because there were so many moving parts to get that thing done. And, you know, these guys can certainly attest to, I mean, we had 13 people on that stage that night. And just the thought of like, you know, our drummer calling the night before and being like, I got a family emergency, I got to bail. Like, anything could have happened. The soundboard could have gone out. The air conditioning in the building could have, anything. So I was just really nervous. It's like, oh my gosh, I put a lot of pressure on myself. And I remember at the end of it, I was like, Steve was like, pretty badass, wasn't it? And I was like, I never want to do that again. But then after that settled down, then I was like, okay, maybe we should talk about doing that again. Touring might be aggressive, but anything's on the table. I don't know. I gotta talk to my partner Brian about that. Thank you, appreciate it.
I watched that show online, and then I remember I texted you, and I'm like, what the fuck is going on? It was really good. I remember the first con I ever did was in Vegas, and it was the first time Jensen had ever got up on stage and sang. And that was, God, we're old. But that Nashville thing, and I was like, well, let's get 1 or 2 songs, and yeah, it was super fucking impressive.
17 songs set.
Yeah, man.
But then the real shitty part about it was we had to follow probably one of the best performances I've ever seen out of these guys. You guys just, like, lit it up. And I turned to Steve and I was like, this was a bad idea. This was a very bad idea. Why would we do this for ourselves? They're so much better than we are. You guys
shouldn't follow. You shouldn't follow.
I know. No, you guys lit that place up. It was awesome. What a fun night that was. That was cool. Thank you.
But you should do another show or two, so.
I know. I gotta figure that out. Even maybe like an acoustic set or something a little more stripped down. But the big band, like with the horns and the strings, it's just so fun. Sorry. Hi.
Hi guys, I'm Mary Ellen from Massachusetts. I love you guys.
Not Kirby from South Carolina.
I'm drunk today, so no, I can't be
Not that.
Jeffrey, this goes to you. you, I do love you because people are gonna boo me. I am not a John Winchester fan, I'm a you fan, but not John. And I'm saying this because in watching the Winchesters, I told Drake that seeing, and this goes to you, Jensen, I feel like you changed my heart about John. Like, I was able to see him in a better light, and I hope that we get more of that, and I hope that it can change the way we see him, not just in possibly the Winchesters, but if you guys do more Supernatural, which I know you talk about.
Well, I just saw a quote from Drake yesterday from this stage where he's like, I wanted to be more of an asshole like Jeffrey's John. But he didn't want to because he's scared of all you. And I'm like, don't be a weenie. Fuck up. They're only meeting for like 20 years. They'll forgive you. They'll forgive you eventually.
Well, thank you, Winchester. And that was the conversation that Robbie and I and Drake had at length about, you know, what this John pre kind of the supernatural of it all, basically pre-Mary's death, what he would be like, and we really did. I wanted to focus and make him a much more approachable character, because I think it would have been an obvious choice to make him the same type of person, but there's no shift. And I think that's a beautiful thing in storytelling, is when a character goes through something so traumatic that it changes them, sometimes good, sometimes bad. I don't think that, obviously it's arguable whether or not John was changed for bad or for good, because what he did was he set out to do good. Even though it was a vengeful mission, he was setting out to right a wrong, because he had gotten wrong, and his wife and his family had gotten wrong, so he had set out to right that wrong. Now, obviously the debate is how he did that, whether that was the right way or the wrong way, but nonetheless, it changed John. That moment changed him. And so I wanted there to be a different type of John than the Winchesters, so we could see a glimpse of what he was like prior to that. And I think he did a great job. Thank you.
Thank you as well, did a great job.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, that's good.
Hi.
Hi, I'm Alice from right here in New Jersey.
Hi, Alice.
This started out as a question for Jensen, but then when I realized Jeffrey was coming too, I realized we both could answer it. You both had the opportunity to do a lot of different formats of acting and entertaining, from a lead on a standard 23 episode series to an ensemble member to a streaming series to voice acting to movies. What's your favorite format to play in?
The one with the best writing. Like, for real. So it's probably not going to be the 23 episode one, because that's really hard to keep up a level of writing. Lately, there's so much kind of good stuff out there. Streaming has kind of changed the game. It's also kind of put a huge dent in the business, because everybody thought they could follow in Netflix and Amazon's footsteps, and they can't. And so a lot of the shows that we watch and love are in trouble right now. They don't have the money anymore, because everybody gave up on commercial television, which is crazy, because that's how you get your money. Anyway, but you follow the best script. You hope to get the best script, you get the best people to work with. A lot of it again, is luck. You don't know half the time if it's good. How would we know Supernatural would be Supernatural when we did the pilot of it, You never know. Grey's Anatomy.
It was good writing though. Like when that pilot was, like, it stands up, it holds up today.
For me, how I knew it was good writing was the soundtrack that was involved in the pilot.
It was in the script.
Yeah, I'm like, with this kind of music, it's going to be a killer show.
It was in the very first page that he wrote, like, and then fade in with a classic rock tune. Not this, what was it? It was like anorexic pansy emo bullshit. I want hard rock. And when I read that,
it's classic.
AC/DC, Zeppelin, and I remember reading that too and going, oh, I'm in. I'm in.
Yeah, so it paints
such a good picture too. The creepy, so just fantastic at painting a picture with his words.
But there's also, there's also good scripts that you can get that can get so screwed up. I never on purpose. I never on purpose did a shitty movie. But I've done a lot of shitty movies. But you think when you read the script, oh, we can do something special here, and then,
So you're saying you like streaming, like you like more of a condensed season?
I think it's easier to keep the level, the quality level up.
But you still, this is one thing I like, why I tend to gravitate towards TV rather than film, is because with a film, I think I said this before, a film, the script is the beginning, middle, and end. It's all right there in front of you. With a series, you're on a journey, and you don't know where that journey is going to go for your character, for the story, for the relationships. It's a journey, and I tend to enjoy that more.
Well, and I also don't think they're making the quality of movies they were making 20 years ago.
Yeah.
And I think the best writing and the best directing and the best acting is on television.
It's series work.
Yeah, it's series work. So,
I'll say, just because I'm thinking about your question, it's just like what medium, and doing a 23 episode network television show is a grind, and it's, I know I did it for a solid 15 years. I think what we had, and with as much as we were doing, we turned out some really great stuff, and I think it's a testament to the people involved in that show. That they really invested and loved that show. When you're looking around, you're seeing the PAs, the guys that are just hired to clean change the garbage can, when they're sitting there reading the script that they got a hold of because they're fans of the show. I think it added a lot to that show. That being said, I also have done daytime soap operas, which is, I did, my record, I think it was 24 pages of dialogue in one day.
yeah, well, you know me.
I would 2.4 pages of dialogue for you. Cue cards. And,
oh my God!
I ended up having to taped his dialogue in my chest during one scene because I was like, we just gotta make our day here, pal. Just look at my tits.
Never gonna find women down. Ever. Every time I do a convention, he tells the story.
I love that day.
It's got legs.
He was so just mortified. But he had to do it. He's like, my brain is mush. He'd just come off with like a 14-hour day of Grey's Anatomy, went straight to the airport, hopped on a plane, and then started at 7 a.m. with us.
Yeah.
And he was just a...
And it was also, it was a huge
dialogue.
ABC.
Yeah.
And I remember I didn't have post-it notes on Jensen, I had them on Jared, I had
On the desk.
and I would just walk around and be like when I watched the scene, I'm like, wow.
Oh, it worked. That's good acting. It totally worked. He's just reading his post-it notes.
It looked like I was thinking.
That's it. By the way, 3M is going to be calling tomorrow for a post-it campaign. But that being said, there's series work, there's movies, there's streamers, soap operas. But if I had my choice pick, I would do half-hour multicam.
Schedule-wise, nothing better.
Schedule-wise, it is unbelievable. The fact that, like, when I think about Friends, I'm like,
it worked 8 hours a week at the end.
Yeah, it was like 8 hours a week. And they would turn that out. And they would do 3 weeks on, 1 week off.
Yeah, and they were making,
$1 million an episode.
Yeah.
So
we're talking about a show that was 20 years ago. We're still jealous.
I know. Well, one of my first gigs was a multicam half hour.
Me too.
And I was
Jason
Mr. Rose, yeah, with Jason
I
Bateman.
did a half hour with Jason Bateman called Black Sheep.
Yeah.
And I played Joey. I was Joey, and then I went and tested for Joey, because I just played Joey, and I didn't get Joey. And I'm still mad about it.
Yeah, I would be.
Oh, pissed. God.
But man, because it's also like doing live theater every week. You get an audience of like 200, 250 people, in a small soundstage, and you put on a show for them for 2-3 hours. And there was just something, and like, you know.
It's good energy.
It's great energy, and you're workshopping the material all week. You do a series, you block a scene, you might run it one time, and then you're going to camera. Like, that's why I think, you know, guys like he and I, you can pretty much throw us into any situation, and we'll be all right, because we've been doing it for so long.
Figure it out.
Yeah, we'll figure it out, but multicam, whew, that's what it's at. But they don't make those shows much anymore. You know, there used to be a ton of them, but now there's only a handful. Sad.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Fucking sad.
On that note, hi.
Way to bring it down.
I was gonna say thank you very much. I write for a living and I really appreciate what you said about writers, particularly with what's going on with the WGA right now. So thank you very much.
Stay strong. We love our writers. We love our writers.
Hi.
Give credit where credit is due.
Hello, my name's Olivia.
Hi, Olivia.
Speaking of baseball, I was wondering if you did make it to the pros, what would your walk-up song be?
Eye of the Tiger.
I just like that she think you'd have a walk-up song.
No, I know, because we used to play it at my high school games.
Theme to Star Wars?
The Natural.
I like that.
You guys know that movie? Yeah. If you don't know that movie, or if you haven't seen that movie,
Lightning.
the exit's right there. No, it's one of the greatest baseball movies of all time. That theme song, that's all I needed. That would, if I heard that, I'd probably immediately just start walking to a plate somewhere. Much like when I hear, anyone you want it. I got out of my car during the guitar solo the other day because I was late, thought I was late for stage. Seriously, they play that song, they put Jared and I onto that song every night, so it's like, anyone you want it. Oh, gotta go, where are we going? Where's the microphone? Yeah, so.
You need to slow down.
I need to slow down. Lay off the drugs, man. Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Well, like Wild Thing. What was that movie with Charlie Sheen?
Maybe, yeah.
That was the best.
That was a great one. That was a great walk up.
Yay, Charlie Sheen.
Tiger. Thank you. We've been doing this a long time.
It's been too long.
Really long.
I feel like I walked in the, I don't know what.
Welcome back, Jeff.
I'm gonna say,
There's a thing. Yeah. Wait till the other thing that happens after this thing.
what's your name? Emily was half as shocked as Jeffrey was. Like, she was surprised, but he almost lost it.
She walked up here like this was her walk-off to the plate song. Like,
By the way, she did.
yeah.
Jensen.
Yeah.
That's my batter invitation. Okay, so back to the last one.
I thought you were golfing.
It's Rob's last convention, everybody. And never saw.
All right, Emily Say hi to your SPN family right here. What is your question?
All right, speaking of songs, I was going to ask what your guys' favorite karaoke songs are. And I mean, if you want to sing a little bit, then that's...
Have you ever done karaoke?
Never.
I thought that. I'm like, I don't
I
think.
want to say you've asked me to do it before, and I said goodnight.
But it wasn't this. It wasn't good night. It was good night.
Yes! You know, singing.
I haven't done karaoke in quite some time, but I will always forget. I'll always forget the time. I remember.
Always no way.
Oh, there's no way out of that one, is there?
I'll always forget the, well, shit, I can't remember.
I was shooting a little show called Dawson's Creek. And I was. Huge Vanderbeek fan. Huge. Things you didn't know about Rich. Massive James Vanderbeek.
Bring on the beat!
The beat. Richard's last con, ladies and gentlemen. We went to a little karaoke place and I was just getting to know this cast and they didn't know me that well and it was my first time to like going out with them in a group and we went to this karaoke place in Wilmington, North Carolina. And a few people got up there and I remember I was playing pool. There's a bar, there was the pool in the back. I was playing with Josh Jackson. And then somebody was like, hey, you gonna do a song? And I was like, I mean, all right. So I get up there and I was like, this is either gonna go horribly, horribly wrong. And these people are going to laugh me off the stage, or might do something different, I don't know. And I sang El Paso by Marty Roberts.
You love El Paso.
And it worked. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, we're your Jensen Ackles, man.
It's a weird thing. I sing it and it went really well.
Well, in the West Texas town of El Paso, I fell in love with a Mexican girl. Nighttime would find me at Rosa's Cantina. Music would play and Felina would whirl. You guys are so fucking easy.
Good crowd.
Hot crowd.
What you don't know, Jensen, is that Rob has a whole version of that that's incredibly dirty that we've been doing for years. It's dirty El Paso. But
Out in the dirty town of El Paso.
it was one of those things where the joke would be we can't remember the words, right? And it was always the El Paso, and it's oh, you know the song is my speaker, my stepdad. Everything would just end with something like Monsignor. Truck stop bathroom.
How sorry are you that you asked this question?
It was pretty damn good though.
What is your go-to karaoke song?
I'm too young to like do karaoke a lot.
You hear that, Rich? She's a little too young for dirty El Paso. Oh, I'm sorry. Like I'm the age police. Lock it up. James Vanderbeek would get it.
You should go.
I Jensen Ackles and Jeffrey Dean That was something. Bobby, your batter worked a little bit with a home run.
Thank you. See what you did there? That was all right.
That was a great pick.
It was honestly, I was embarrassed about that until you did your whole bit. I was like, oh good. Now we're
Yeah, it's a great panel. You guys did a great job. I'm proud of all of you. We held together for the most part. Quick intermission, go hydrate, get yourself a bite of goodies, and then get ready for